welcome to the Good Fight Sports Podcast, your home for local sports here in the 574. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 7 of the Good Fight Sports Podcast. My name is Kenny, and we got Brady back this week.
Yeah, I'm back, everybody. How's it going?
So it's good to have Brady back. Missed him last week, but show must go on. And we got more sports to talk about.
Oh, we do.
We're going to start first. The biggest thing that happened for an area team for high school basketball.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys don't know, state finals happened yesterday. The last game for high school basketball for boys. And Northwood was down at state. And they were playing a team called Guerin Catholic. I think that's how you say it. It's a weird name.
Never heard of them, so.
Yeah, they're down by like Noblesville.
Oh, okay.
Westfield area. They're right in between. They're more close to Westfield, but their address, they have so they're located more towards Westfield, but they have a Noblesville zip code, which is weird.
That is weird. I don't get that. Maybe this one will be closer.
Postal Service for you.
Yeah, that's that for you.
Indianapolis area for you.
Mm-hmm.
But they played them, and Northwood is your 3A state champion. So, yes, we're going to give them – good job. It was a really good game. Unfortunately, I couldn't see it because I was busy with other things, church-related events. So I just found stats of the game. So in scoring, before we go scoring, this was Northwood's first ever state title in boys basketball. And they join a rare portion of teams in the state that have won state championships in both basketball, football, and other sports. There's only 10 schools that have done that.
Wow. Obviously, we already know those schools because they're the big name. Penn.
No.
Penn hasn't?
No, they haven't won a title in boys basketball yet. They've made it to state.
They probably won't win one for a while now. I don't know.
Losing
Marcus Bergen,
you're right. But yeah, Ben Davis. There's only 6 public schools. I think 4 public schools. 6 Catholic schools.
Oh, okay.
So mostly all of the Catholic schools down south, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, Indianapolis Cathedral, Lafayette Central Catholic, all of those teams.
Yeah.
So they joined a rare portion up there. But, yeah, it was good to see Northwood win yesterday. Northwood had a huge crowd down there. I would, if I was guessing, I would say probably like close to 2,000.
Wow.
At least.
That's crazy.
I mean, at minimum 2. I mean, I saw a picture. It was like they filled three tiers of seating at the at Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
Wow.
So I'll get into scoring. Cade Brenner for Northwood led the scoring from both sides. He had 28 points, 23 of which came in the first half. So he was on fire in the first half, and then obviously cooled down in the second half. Tyler Roush had 14 points, 13 rebounds, 5 blocks. So another complete game for him. Ian Roush had 13 points, and he won the Mendel Attitude Award for high school basketball for boys. Then Ethan Wolf had 9. So Northwood finishes the season 28-2, winners of 20 straight games.
Crazy.
Ranked number 1 in 3A, and the best defensive team in the whole state in 3A, and the state in general, only giving up just 36.4 points a game.
That's amazing.
So
that's Another round of applause.
That's incredible.
That was great. Honestly, great. I mean, those numbers, that's like some South Bend, Washington female,
Yeah, that's the Washington girls
Yeah, that's
type
the Washington
numbers.
girls, yeah.
But just all-around great year for Northwood. I saw another thing where it was kind of giving like an underrated coach, and someone put the head coach for Northwood, Aaron Wolf, and I would have to agree.
Yeah.
He's very underrated. I mean, the fact that last year Northwood won, I believe, 25 games, then they come back the next year and win 28 plus a state championship.
Yeah.
Plus, they only graduate a few players. I mean, they have most of the team coming back next year.
Right.
So
it's high hopes for them next year.
I would say, yeah, high hopes. I mean, I wouldn't say they're going to win state. I'm not going to predict that, but I'm saying probably another 20-win season, probably making it to semi-state. I mean, Northwood, I think Northwood, you're going to see a lot of Northwood.
Yeah. They're definitely going to be
for a while.
I don't think they're at the level of contender yet, but I think that they're right behind that. I think that they could maybe, if they play well next year, have that shot of making it to state and possibly win that, repeat.
So, unfortunately, that wraps up high school basketball.
High school basketball.
We now move to college basketball.
Even interesting.
So before we get to the tournament, we got to talk about stuff that's happened at Notre Dame, because there's been a lot that's happened up there for college basketball. So first, Notre Dame lost their 5-star recruit, J.J. Starling, entered the transfer portal, and he's going to Syracuse.
Doesn't surprise me, sadly.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. His family's also from the New York area.
Okay, so that makes sense.
So he's going home to be closer to them.
Yep.
So cupboard is looking pretty bare because there's also other players that are transferring out. So for them, finding more players and whatever, and then trying to find a coach, cupboard's looking pretty dry.
I mean, they're getting Marcus Burton still, right?
Yeah, they're still getting Marcus Burton, so there's still that to hold on to. And speaking of new coach, if you didn't know, Mike Bray said that he was done after this year, and he's gone.
Good.
So,
sorry, but
exactly.
As a Notre Dame fan, I'm wearing a Notre Dame hoodie. I gotta say,
it was high time that he go.
Bye.
Yeah, don't let the door hit you on the way out, Bray.
No, I'll let it hit you.
Wow.
That's a whole other.
That's a whole other podcast right there. But their next head coach has been named, and he's already been hired, and he's already on campus. Micah Shrewsbury from Penn State is the next Notre Dame head coach. He was named officially yesterday as the Glenn and Stacey Murphy head men's basketball coach, and he is the 18th coach in program history. And he's coming off a 23-14 season at Penn State, and Penn State made the tournament too.
Yeah,
and were runners-up in the Big Ten championship.
I think they were.
Because they were because they played Purdue.
Yeah,
and they played Purdue tough in the first half, and then Purdue went on to win, and that was the only title that Purdue won this year.
Yeah,
I'll just leave it at that because we'll get into.
We don't want Purdue fans. We know some Purdue fans.
Yeah. I covered Purdue last week.
Yeah.
on the podcast that I did. So we won't get into what happened with Purdue. I think. Yeah. Enough said. Moment of silence for Purdue.
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough.
Okay, that's enough.
So, Cormac Ryan, player for Notre Dame, is also out. He's dipping for the NBA draft.
Oh.
And has entered the portal. So he's going to test the waters for him in the NBA draft. If he doesn't like it, he can back out, and then he's going to go somewhere else. So I also say bye, see ya, because we don't need you. Because in his career, he averaged a little bit over 10 points a game. So
not that much.
Bye.
Role player.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Role player, but he was a starter, so he should be averaging more.
Right.
But yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, no.
Marcus Burton will
exactly
pick up the slack.
I said this to my dad yesterday. I said that Marcus Burton, if he continues what he's doing in college, he can be the next Demetrius Jackson at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Demetrius Jackson coming out of high school was basically the same way that Burton was. And so if he continues,
right,
I see.
I think his first season will be adjusting to
for
college,
sure.
but definitely his sophomore year he's gonna go off and play really well.
Right. And I'm trying not to compare him too much to Demetrius Jackson, but I mean, I remember when Demetrius Jackson came in. I mean, he didn't look like a college player. He looked like a high school player playing in college.
Right.
And he had a lot of weight to him. Not saying that he was like big or anything, but for a point guard,
he was
or
definitely
a
a
shooting guard or whatever his role was his first year, he looked a little out of shape,
out of place.
Yeah, exactly. And then his second year, he came in and he slimmed down and he got bigger,
got lean.
He got lean and he got mean.
Yeah.
And that's what I see Marcus Burton going to do. I think he's going to – the first year he'll probably look the same as he does in high school, but then probably second year he's going to, like, hit the weight room. And, I mean, it's going to show.
Yeah.
So, I mean, sky's the limit for Burton at Notre Dame for sure. And hopefully he doesn't transfer out either after his first year. And hopefully he doesn't leave either like some other players have done at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Blake Wesley. But that's neither here nor there, and that's another podcast for another time
that's
too.
Another thing.
While we were talking about Mike Brey, we need to mention that he actually did interview for a coaching position. He went down to South Florida to interview, but he was not extended a job offer.
Of course he wasn't. Yeah. The door didn't even open to kick him. He just didn't get in.
The door was open. The door was open, but I think South Florida realized what kind of a coach they're getting.
Yeah.
One that doesn't really recruit that much and that doesn't play their bench.
Yeah.
So I am not surprised that he didn't get the job.
Right.
So, But that's another podcast for another time, too, because it's time now for NCAA Tournament news.
Oh, yeah.
What probably people are here for.
Yeah, the final
or to hear us talk.
Pretty much
about
the Final Four.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
we got to cover the fact that Kansas State defeated Michigan State.
Oh, yeah. I mean, to be fair, I was in Michigan, on vacation a week or two ago, and, it was great to see Michigan beat, was it Michigan State beat USC?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
That was the best thing because everyone was so happy and drinking beer and getting that wasted, and I was sitting there drinking my water and just crying tears of joy, Kenny.
Getting drunk on water.
Getting high on life.
But, yeah, Kansas State defeated Michigan State 98-93 in overtime. It was a really good game. Keontae Johnson for K-State led the way for them with 22 points. And then Marquise Norwell had a terrific game. He set, I think it was an NCAA record for the game, too. He had 20 points and dished out 19 assists.
Wow.
20 and 19.
Looking like Scotty Skiles over there. All those assists, shouting out one of the best players to come from
Plymouth High School?
Well, Plymouth and just local around here basketball.
True.
Honestly, around us.
True.
Shout out, Scotty, if you're hearing this. My mom's name's Ellen. You know her. Maybe. Don't know. That's another podcast.
Yeah. So now, what happened yesterday? Because this is big.
This is big.
Florida Atlantic.
Yeah.
Is going to the Final Four.
Yeah.
You heard that right. Should I repeat myself?
Yeah.
Florida Atlantic is going to the Final Four. A 9 seed.
Yeah. They've only lost
3 games.
3 games, yeah. That's
incredible.
It's
the
disgusting.
best. Yeah, Lee good.
Like,
I don't know what to say. FAU.
It doesn't seem right.
No,
it's a fever dream, Kenny. It'll go away unless they win it all.
At this point,
honestly, they don't have too much competition. Well,
there is another team out there that has been. So, and the other game, Florida Atlantic beat Kansas State.
Right, which they
79-76.
Right.
Which K-State, I think K-State was riding a little bit high.
I think they were, yeah.
And I heard a lot of people say that they weren't surprised that FAU beat K-State.
Yeah.
And I was one of those people that said that. Just the way that FAU was playing and the fact that K-State beat Michigan State in overtime and the fact that they had a great game in that game too. There was going to be a game where they were going to come out and just or think highly of themselves and think, oh, we're going to steamroll this team and like say, no.
You know who thought the same way about FDU?
You mean
FAU, sorry. I keep saying FAU.
But I know a team who came out and thought they were going to win and, well, didn't.
Purdue.
Yeah. I didn't want to say the name, but you did.
Out of respect, but you got to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched that game. That was painful.
I did too. And it was painful to a point because it shot one of my brackets in half.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, I was like, you know what? At this point, my brackets are shot anyway.
That's how it is every year, Kenny.
May as well just start cheering for FDU.
Yeah.
And I did. And they won.
Yeah.
And, well, Purdue, you need to get better in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you want to make it 4 straight years losing to a 13 seed or worse. Yeah. Because that's disgusting.
Not Lee good.
Lee bad. So to the other game yesterday, that featured the 4-seeded UConn Huskies and the 3-seeded Gonzaga Bulldogs. And this was a great first half. Mm-hmm. Competitive first half.
Pretty close.
The end finished, the end of the first half, UConn was up by 7. It felt a lot closer than 7 going into halftime. And that was the only time it was close after that.
Yeah.
UConn came out after halftime and went on a 22-5 run. Blew the game open, and Gonzaga did nothing. I think the big key to the game was the questionable foul call on Drew Timme underneath the UConn basket. That was a very questionable call. I think at that point you let the team play. You just let it play because it was incidental contact.
Right.
And plus, at that point, Timme had 3 fouls. And then calling that foul puts him at 4. So I think at some point you got to realize how many fouls you have on a certain player, especially star players, and say, you know what, I can't take control of the game. Because I think at that point the ref took control of the game. Mm-hmm. If he knew it or not, that's a different story.
Right.
But from a fan standpoint, it just looked like he was taking control of the game. And said, you know what, I'm deciding this game.
He had some parlays to hit.
He had money to win.
Took the over.
I mean, the game was in Vegas.
Yeah.
So he probably went to the casino beforehand.
Right.
And said, you know what, hey, I'll take money on UConn. Give me UConn plus
30.
Yeah, plus 30. And whatever the over-under is for like total score, probably go under just a little bit. But yeah, UConn won 82-54. Yeah, it wasn't even a close second half. It was a blink, and UConn was up by 15. And what's crazy is, here's the thing on UConn. UConn, their closest game in the tournament has been a 15-point win.
That's crazy.
Other than that, it's been a 24-point win, 15-point win, 28-point win, and another 28-point win.
But this is their toughest team they've faced, I'm pretty sure, though.
Yeah, it was the best offensive team in college basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And they were up by 33 at one point in the second half.
Yeah.
That also is a testament to Gonzaga's poor three-point shooting last night.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't hit a broadside of a barn.
Yeah.
And their defense in the second half was atrocious. It was disgusting. Bad, yeah. So UConn moves on to the Final Four, and they face the winner of Miami and Texas. And I should have mentioned that Florida Atlantic faces the winner of San Diego State and Creighton.
And the winner of that game is going to be San Diego State.
Oh, you're calling it now.
San Diego State's winning, and then you said it's Texas versus
Miami.
Texas is going to win in overtime. It's going to be a very close game. They're going to win in overtime.
Okay.
I think the San Diego game, San Diego's going to win by probably 15 points, 15, 20. It's going to be a blowout. It's going to be pretty big margin.
I think
with how San Diego State played against, they played Alabama, right? Or no, they didn't play Alabama. They played
Did they play Alabama? I think they played Alabama.
No, they played Houston because Houston beat Alabama.
No, yeah, San Diego State did play Alabama.
No, they did play. No, they did. Yeah. They played Alabama, beat Alabama, and they played Houston. Right?
They haven't played Houston yet.
Well, no, Houston's out.
Right, exactly.
They didn't play Houston, but they would have beat Houston.
Miami beat Houston.
Miami beat Houston, which I did not expect that. I don't think anyone really did. Houston was pretty good.
Yeah, Houston was good. I had Houston winning in one of my brackets because I really thought they were going to win. Plus the fact that the Final Four is in Houston.
Yeah,
I had a Houston, Texas Elite Eight.
Right.
And I thought that was going to be what it was.
Yeah.
And boy, was I wrong.
No.
And this is an odd year for the tournament too, because there are no number one seeds. None.
Yeah.
The highest seed left is Texas, and they're a 2 seed.
Because number one seed on the one side was
Purdue. Yes. So they lost first round.
Right.
Alabama lost in the Sweet 16.
Right.
Houston lost in the Sweet 16. Kansas lost, I think, in the round of 32.
They lost to Baylor, right?
Yeah, so Kansas. Yeah, so that's right. Kansas lost to
71.
Yeah, Kansas lost to Arkansas, and yeah, that's right. And that was what, round of 32. Okay, that's right.
No, second round.
Round of 32.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, then they lost the Big 12 tournament, but doesn't really.
But yeah, the only Alabama and Houston made it further as number one seeds,
which is weird.
It is weird because
this was one of those years that had a lot of teams that lost to better matchup. I remember a couple of years back there was a 16 seed beat the number one seed.
UMBC.
Yeah,
the overall number one seed, Virginia.
Yeah. That was crazy, but this year, I mean, we've had some pretty good upsets. I mean, even like a number 10 team beating, a number 4, number 7, yeah. It, usually you take the statistics and go with the numbers on those picks, but this year has been a shell shock. It's been crazy.
Right. Like a 9 seed in the Final Four.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
And then to have no 1 seeds anywhere close to the Final Four is just
ridiculous.
It's crazy. And then to have in week 1 of the first round, I'm not counting the play-in games as round 1.
Right.
The actual tournament.
Tournament, yeah.
You had Furman beating Virginia. That's a 13 seed beating a 4 seed.
Yeah.
And then Fairleigh Dickinson beating Purdue. And there was a lot more upsets down the road. I can't even name them all right now because we don't have enough time to do that either.
Right.
This was the year of upsets.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Next year, it probably will just be the number 1 seed domination.
I'm going to make a prediction now. UConn's winning the national championship next year. If they don't win it this year, they're winning it next year.
Notre Dame's going to miss next year. I'm
Notre
calling
Dame,
that.
Notre Dame may make the NIT next year. May. Hey, they're going to do. I think they're going to do a lot better than what they did this year.
Oh, for sure, Kenny.
They'll have more than 3 wins in the ACC.
Oh yeah, definitely, way more.
They'll have like maybe 7, 8,
maybe 9 if they do good. But
if they have 10 wins, I'll take 10.
Yeah, then I could see
because
them.
that's 500, 10 and 10.
Yeah.
So I'll take 10 and 10.
Mm-hmm.
Just give me a 500 record.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Because that's better than what Mike Bray did here.
Yeah.
This year. And last year. But that's enough about Mike Bray.
Yeah.
So, football.
Oh, yeah.
I saw some news. I needed to throw this in. Linebacker Drew Tranquil, and you're going to like this one, is going to Kansas City.
Oh, yeah.
He signed a 1-year, $5 million deal. So the former Notre Dame linebacker is now a Chief.
Oh, yeah, baby. And if you don't know, fans, I'm a Chiefs fan. Call me a bandwagon, whatever. I've been a Chiefs fan before they won any rings with Mahomes. So call me a bandwagon, whatever.
Bandwagon.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome.
Chad Henne's the GOAT.
Okay. That's another podcast.
Bye-bye, Juju. Go dance with the Patriots.
Don't mention the Patriots on this podcast.
Or Juju. Hey, but in better news, Chiefs are probably going to pick up hopefully here soon, pick up some top receivers.
Are they?
Yeah, probably either DeAndre Hopkins or Odell. That's my guess.
Really?
Yeah, that's what's the pot is stirring because Odell has had the struggle with finding an elite quarterback that can actually complete passes to him. And I could tell you, Odell with Patrick Mahomes would be spectacular to watch. And as a fan, I think, even if you're not a fan of the Chiefs, you got to agree Mahomes has some deadly accuracy and great arm, great thinker. He just struggles with that pressure sometimes on him. And they've definitely helped him a lot with his line. They've gotten a lot better. But, yeah, the Chiefs are looking good, even though they've lost, people like McCole Hardman. And I know losing Tyreek Hill, everyone said this was going to be a rebuild season, and they won a Super Bowl. If that's a rebuild, I don't know. The Chicago Bears have been doing something wrong for a while.
Yeah. That's like saying the Cubs are going to win a World Series.
Right.
And, it took them 108 years to do that.
I'll never see another Cubs World Series in my life. I probably won't.
No, you won't because it's going to be another 108 years.
Right.
And then they'll win.
And
then it's going to be another 108 years after
if baseball's still a thing.
Right. That's saying
if,
that something else doesn't happen before that. And I think
rapture.
you know what yeah. So, yeah. But, yeah, the Cubs are not winning another World Series, and you can mark my words on that.
No, I agree with you. I'm a Cubs fan, born and raised, but devout Cubs fan, you could say. And I knew they were never going to win another one when they decided to rebuild, yet they traded away their 3 top players, which I don't
see.
get.
What's weird to me is they entered a rebuild, an official rebuild.
Right.
And it was a rebuild.
Yeah.
Now this year they're trying to get players in to win. That's not how it works. You have to build your feeder systems in order to get better. Because you bring veteran players in, it's gonna work for a while. And then by some point they're gonna get fed up with the younger players because they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like, okay, why are we here? So
Go play for a team that can actually win
right,
a World
exactly.
Series.
Yeah, because maybe some of the players that the Cubs signed are actually signing with them to go to a better team.
Right.
Because, I mean, the Cubs' name in baseball is a really big name. It's one of the biggest names in baseball. But they're not winning a World Series this year. And neither are the White Sox, because that's my team. I am a diehard White Sox fan. So there's a lot of tension between the two teams that Brady and I both like. So
yeah, it's gonna be an interesting year for baseball.
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
Going back to football, I believe it's almost 100% now that Aaron Rodgers is going to the Jets.
It's pretty much 100%.
So basically, Rodgers is not the one holding up the trade.
Nope, it's the Packers.
It's the Packers that want compensation.
They want more
for Rodgers,
which is dumb.
Exactly. You get what you get, and you don't complain about it.
Either what's going to happen is Rodgers not going to play a year, or he's going to play. If I think he might try to pull a Rob Gronkowski and just say he's quitting and then come back. But yet the issue with that is the Packers still have a hold on his contract if he was to retire mid contract. Because I'm pretty sure he's still got a couple years on his contract. So if he was to leave, there's no way he'd be able to, because I think it's like a 5-year hold or something. So they would still have to trade him. And if they decide to not trade him, he can decide to just not play, and then he's a spot on their roster, and he's still getting paid. Or, well, he wouldn't get paid, but it's a lot of legal stuff. I think Rodgers will be going to the Jets.
Yeah.
Considering the Jets are trying to, they traded away some people, and then they got some people, I'm pretty sure, but that's a whole nother thing. It's the New York Jets, man.
Yeah, I don't even have the whole
butt
list
fumble. When I think of the Jets, I just think of the butt fumble, man.
Oh my
God.
Yeah,
that's the most iconic Jets play in the history of the Jets.
Yeah, since I've been alive, that's the biggest thing that's happened for the Jets.
Yeah, I've never seen anything more interesting.
Or besides the one guy who's the super fan of the Jets going Jets.
Or that one little kid that was like, my dad takes me to get ice cream every time the Jets win, and Sauce Gardner's like, well, you're going to be eating a lot of ice cream this year. Because they won like 3 games in a row. They won their first 3 games because that's what the Cowboys, the Jets, and the Giants all always do is win their first 3 games,
and then their fan base goes, okay, we're going
win.
to the playoffs.
Yeah, and then half of the time they don't, and then Dallas defeats Tom Brady when he has had a divorce, and they think, oh, we're going to the Super Bowl, guys, we got to win, and then they get absolutely manhandled by who'd they play? The Eagles.
I think the Eagles, yeah.
Manhandled by the Eagles.
Demolished.
All the missed kicks. Actually, that was in the Bucs game that they missed all the extra point.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, their kicker, but Brett Maher or whatever his name is. But.
Hey, don't be talking smack about America's team.
America's team. Chiefs are more American than that team, man.
Okay.
Eagles is America's team.
Eagles, yes, but, I mean, you also got to say the Patriots because, I mean...
They're the Patriots, man.
Patriots.
Tom Brady, Bill Belichick.
Not even that. It's just it has the word Patriots in it.
Yeah.
But, again, we don't talk about the Patriots on this podcast because no one likes the Patriots.
I would say Commanders, but they just changed their name, and that's a whole nother thing.
You mean the Redskins?
Oh, sorry. Redskins.
Yeah. I'm going to refer to the former Washington football team as their actual name, and that's the Washington Redskins. If that offends you, good. Because it's not offensive.
Well, we got anything else here, Kenny? Or?
Yes.
We do.
Baseball. Your sport, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Getting excited.
We have a few things to talk about for baseball. First off, Elkhart County is getting a new minor league team.
Really?
Yes.
What team? What's the...
In the summer of this year, they will have the Elkhart County Miracle. All games will be played at Northwood High School. Northwood is getting a whole new softball and baseball facility.
Doesn't surprise me.
It is almost state of the art. It is incredible. I've seen pictures of it. Whew. Man. So they're playing at Northwood until they build a new stadium. Miracle, that is.
Right.
And they're already in talks about building a new stadium. They already have a date, but they want to have it done.
Wow.
2026. And I've heard that they want to have, I think, a retractable roof.
That's going to be expensive, man.
So a 10,000-seat stadium, retractable roof.
That's crazy.
So it's going to be one of the only stadiums that seats 10,000 but has a retractable roof.
That'd be awesome.
So, and it's going to be a multi-purpose too for basketball, whatever. Right. So they can host baseball games there or what have you. So yeah.
It's awesome.
So there's going to be some baseball over in Elkhart County.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Now,
disgustingly good.
Yeah. Now to Major League.
Ooh.
I want to get your opinions on these.
Alrighty.
The new rules for this year. We're going to go one by one on the main ones that I saw.
I think there's only about, was it 3 or 4?
I believe it's just 3.
That are major. I know there's one that's
super major.
That's super major, and then I know one that you're probably not going to talk about, but was a change.
Base size?
No, it was contract relating, but that's it's not that major. It's just talking about the teams. It's called force of cap or force cap, or it's whatever. It doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah, I didn't even see that one.
Yeah,
that one's news to me. But yeah, the base sizes are bigger. They're now 18 inches, I think.
Were they at 16?
16, yeah.
I think.
So it's really no difference.
Not that
they're
much.
They're gonna look the exact same to you.
It's only gonna make a difference for the runners.
For the players, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But first one, pitch clock. Go. Do you like it or do you not?
I think it should not be enforced unless the game is. So that's always happening, right? The pitch clock. It's all every.
No. So this is the new rule. This pitch clock is different from the one that the pitcher has to start the first pitch of the inning.
I know in high school.
So this one is you have, I believe, 15 seconds from the time the ball is caught by the catcher and thrown back to the pitcher for the batter to get ready. You have 15 seconds, and the batter has to be ready by 8 seconds. If not, strike. Strike.
I think that should not be enforced unless you are. I think earlier innings, that should not be a thing. I think that should only happen either if you are in extra innings or if the time scheduled for the game is over the time. Because you're gonna have a player get one chucked at his head and then he has to immediately get back in the box after 8 seconds.
Right, exactly.
Which is the issue.
Exactly. That's
your heart pumps after that.
Yeah, exactly.
I play baseball. You have to take a breather. You have to step out. You have to fix your gloves. You have to focus. Right. Now, I don't mean you be Manny Machado and do a whole strut around and swing your bat around for 20 minutes and
right.
Wave at the fans and try to get a girl's number. But I mean, you need time. You need your own time as a batter to get your head right because baseball is 50% physical, 50% mental. So it's all about that mentality. And if you only got 8 seconds to where you got to get back in there, it's like quick pitching. That's one thing, and I play baseball. That's the thing, in my league, the umps enforce that you can't quick pitch. That's just something that we do not like. The only time you can quick pitch is if, the only time people would quick pitch and it would be not illegal is if there's a base runner, for example, and they're trying to stop them from stealing, or throwing, their windups a little quicker. But that's different than just grabbing the ball and all right, throw.
That's so when I think of quick pitching, and I'm going to mention a White Sox player, Mark Burley. Mm-hmm. When Mark Burley caught the ball, I mean, he wanted to go. He was let's go, let's go, let's go. And I think it's almost a strategy as a batter, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't really played baseball in a few years, but a strategy as a batter for a quick pitcher is slow the game down. Don't allow him to get into a rhythm. Well,
what you do is you just call. You have your hand up, or you have
call
one
time.
foot out of the box.
Exactly.
What I do if I want to mess with a pitcher and get in their head, what you do, and one thing as a baseball player you're taught is if they're looking for the call for the pitch and they say no, either it's usually 3 times, 2 or 3 times. Mm-hmm. They're standing there for a while. Call time, because if they don't know what they're going to throw, or if they're making you stand there, because standing there with your arms ready and your bat like that gets tiring. Mm-hmm. So taking a second, taking a breather, doing that it helps a lot. And if I notice a kid's quick pitching against me, all I do is before I step in the batter's box, I put my hand up, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I dig in my right foot, get ready, and then I step in, get my bat there, and I'm ready to go. Because I don't normally do that. What I'll do is I'll step in the batter's box, get set, okay, and then the pitcher will throw. Because they give that courtesy of not just immediately throwing, but if I know the guy's doing that, he can't throw to me if I'm not in the batter's box.
Right.
Unless the ump is enforcing that. But I don't play, like travel or anything, so it's just like rec ball. But still, the umps are going to enforce what they want to enforce,
right,
and what the rules are.
Right.
So,
and that goes to, the pitch clock here, because there's going to be different umps that call it different ways. Because there's going to be umps that call it at 7 seconds for a batter to get ready.
Right.
Or 8 seconds. And on top of the batters calling time, you only get 1 timeout per batter.
At bat, yeah.
Yeah. So you get 1 timeout.
Well, for the whole game?
No, for each bat.
For each at bat.
For each at bat, you get 1 timeout.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, and I like that, and I don't like that. Like, I like it because it does, help the tempo of the game. But, you get a pitch that's at your head at like 95.
Right.
And you have to get back in at 8 seconds. Okay, you're going to need a timeout. But if you've already used it, I mean, there's got to be some, courtesy of, okay, you just had a pitch come at your head at 93 or whatever.
Right.
Okay, you need
a second.
You need a second. So there's got to be some judgment from umpires on that one.
Also, one thing I hate about baseball, and I know that people complain about this, but being able to review a strike, like that's the thing that they're doing now. I'm pretty sure, reviewing strikes and balls. Like you can throw a challenge flag and instant replay.
Oh,
did you hear about that?
I have not heard about that one.
Yeah, it's a new thing they're doing.
That's
challenging.
That's going to slow the game down, because at every pitch there's going to be a challenge.
But you can only have a certain amount per inning or whatever.
Okay, then that should be 2 challenges then. One.
But I don't like the challenges, man, because
I don't like them either, because it's not baseball.
Yeah, because if the ump's calling bad, okay, he's going to call bad for both teams. And if he doesn't, he's biased to one team. Okay,
yeah.
You slump the pit. You slump him. You hit him with a ball high and tight, and then you just have the catcher act like it's going low. And I'm not promoting violence. That's just how you play baseball. If an ump's going to be biased against your team, and I mean, I had that in my league. I mean, we didn't clock them, but we would swing at everything, and whatever we got, we'd hit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it is.
Exactly. Like this. I hated when they went to review. Because back when baseball was good, if there was a bad call, and especially if you were on the road and you got that call, the fans just booing like crazy, it was great.
Yeah.
It was great. And the fact that at the end of the game, no one really cared. Okay, it's like, oh, crap, that actually wasn't that call. Like, okay, so a prime example of that would be, I'm going to use another White Sox player, was A.J. Pierzynski. His catch on a ball that was in the dirt in Game 2 of the ALCS back in 2005.
Yeah.
Okay. No, he was actually at bat. So he was at bat. The catcher for the Angels caught the ball down low. He caught it right above the dirt. I mean, it was super close. Okay, and it was a strikeout because Brzezinski did swing.
Right.
He started AJ started walking back to the dugout, but then took off to first base because it's like, what the heck?
Why not?
Why not? Exactly. And he was called safe. After review, if they had review, they would have reviewed and they would have called him out because it never hit the dirt.
Yeah.
But in that moment, there was no review.
The game kept on.
The game kept going. So you've got to you took your chances.
And the game goes both ways.
Exactly.
If they give a bad call, the umps will give it back, to your team.
Right. It may not be right away.
Right.
But you're going to know that there's going to be some sort of call that's going to go your way.
Yeah. And the NBA is just...
And it's the same way, too. It's basically the same with basketball, football, whatever. There's a bad call one way.
It'll go back the other way.
You would probably going to expect reciprocation from the official ump or whatever of a bad call going for your team.
Right.
So, and that's what made baseball so good. Rule 2, no shift.
No more shift.
No more shift. Go.
It hurts a lot of people, but it also, because it makes position hitters and also just people it makes lefties a lot harder to play baseball. A lot harder because, if you're a righty, you're going to naturally be hitting it left field, okay? And there is an extra base, there's shortstop there. And most of the time, second base doesn't even play second base on those types of shifts. They just move over to where shortstop is. Shortstop plays the middle, or he plays, actually, I'm pretty sure in that, shortstop plays back, second is over right back past second base, and then third plays the line.
Yeah.
And then if it's, they're running a shift on someone who's a righty, shortstop moves to where second is, second moves back and over, third plays short. I mean, and then outfielders come in, because I'm guessing you can still do that. It's not technically a shift because as long as they're in the outfield.
But I'm pretty sure you can bring your outfield.
I'm pretty sure you can bring them up to the grass
because that's not a shift. I think what they're banning is the fact that second base plays the shortstop between first and second.
Right. So what they'll still do is they'll have instead of doing the normal shift, they'll have just the right fielder come in and basically play shortstop.
They won't
in the grass.
They won't bring them all the way in.
They'll bring them about halfway in, and they'll move center left and back a little bit.
Yes,
that's my guess. And then
that's what
right field will stay in the same place.
We'll see. Opening day, which is a few days away. We'll see on opening day what they allow, because I'm pretty sure you're going to see teams trying to.
Here, they'll have markers for where the players can stand, because how it works is, once the ball is pitched, anyone can move anywhere. Once the ball is out of the pitcher's hand, I think, you can move.
Yeah.
But before the pitch, they'll probably have markers between, right in between, halfway from third to short, and then second to first. But I always love seeing those walls of people just standing there, 20 of them, dude. It seemed like, it's the whole wall of players.
So here's what I don't like about it, and I don't like this one at all. If you hit to a certain position every time, not like every at bat, but 85% of the time you hit the ball between first and second, you hit it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the defense is playing to that,
right?
With the shift, they're making you do something you're not accustomed to do and hit the ball the other way.
Yeah.
That's not on the defense. That's on the batter.
That's
a batter issue, not a defensive issue. Mm-hmm. And so the defense is playing analytics. They're like, okay, he hits it in between first and second.
It's smart.
So we're going to play smart. Why give this guy a base hit when we can get a ground out? Not saying they're going to get a ground out, but they're playing to those numbers of getting an out. So I don't like that rule at all. Last rule, pickoffs. And I forget about this one. I'm gonna have to look this one up really quick.
Do you have any idea what it's about? Or
That's why I'm looking at.
Oh, okay. I'm guessing it has to do with you can't pick off. You can only throw back a certain amount of times or something, is my guess. Because that was a big issue, is the pitcher would just keep checking back the runner.
And this is for pitchers. So pitchers may only disengage from the pitching rubber either to call timeout or attempt to pick off to throw twice per plate appearance. So pitchers can't really do a whole lot of pickoffs anymore. So only 2 times per.
Because now that means if a runner can just steal second, if he does
exactly
it twice.
Well, okay, yeah. So if he does twice, he can just go. Because then the pitcher can't do anything about it.
So stealing is going to become a lot more popular.
This is okay. So baseball's trying to get faster as a game, and they're trying to draw more people in.
It's not the way you do it.
No. Because I've played baseball before, so you and I both know baseball is not a quick game.
Nope.
Baseball is attrition based.
Mm-hmm.
To quote Moneyball, the baseball movie, it's a war of attrition.
Yep.
There's no clock. Okay, this game doesn't start with a 20-minute clock or a 15-minute or whatever clock.
Unless you're playing like rec ball or younger league ball, you do have a time usually you're supposed to play by. But professional, you play 9 innings. You have to go extra innings. That's how it is.
You go extra innings.
You go 9.
Yeah. You play 9.
Baseball.
You play 9 innings.
Yep.
Whether an inning takes
20 minutes,
5 minutes,
an
hour, whatever. You play that inning. You need to get 3 outs per inning.
On both sides.
There's no, you start here. Now, I like the whole rule of a man on second starting
10th inning.
And the 10th inning.
That's great.
I like that because that makes extra innings go by fast.
Right.
Because if you've just played 2.5 hours or 3 hours of a 9-inning game, sorry, your fans are pretty tired and they want to go. It makes it interesting with the man on second. You're like, okay, there's already a runner in scoring position. I like this.
Right.
But we may as well just start with the runner on second base and inning number 1.
Yeah.
Which is basically what we're doing here.
Right.
So I think I'll ask, do you like any of the rule changes that baseball's doing?
The shift one to an extent, but I hate the pitch clock and I hate this other rule with the burning passion. I hate
I hate all of them. Like
the pitch clock is the worst, though.
Yes.
Easily the worst. Because shifting it can sometimes be bad. Like shifting, I think you should only be able to shift one player on the field at a time if they're going to change shifting rules. That's fair.
Yes.
But making it so that you can't shift at all means batters who hit a bunch of line drives or ground balls to these spots are going to have better batting numbers because they're allowed to do that because they're able to get away with it.
Yep. Baseball is becoming offensive based. They want more hits. Because
baseball's fun to watch when there's a lot of hits and a lot of players on base doing stuff. Yeah. But that's the issue. That's not what baseball is. Baseball is whatever team can outlast and whoever can play better.
Yes.
Endurance.
Exactly.
That's baseball for you. That's why it's such a long game and, sometimes boring to watch because some games have nothing.
Right.
It's like a hockey game.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Baseball and hockey are similar in that way that not a lot of points get scored sometimes. Baseball, usually more points are scored, but same thing with soccer. Soccer is exactly the same way, I think.
Yes.
I mean, there's always action, but a lot of midfield action.
Yes.
The real good action is once it gets to the goal.
Yes.
Because watching them pass the ball around midfield, not that fun. Corner kicks are fun. That's one thing about soccer, which is great. This is a whole nother thing, but a lot of people don't like soccer here in the U.S. because they're used to watching football. It's more a fast pace. Always, always something can happen. Everyone can score every play. You're not going to score every play in baseball or soccer. I mean, you have a home run, but home run lasts for that feeling lasts for 30 seconds and then it's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Compared to that's why baseball is more of a slow burn kind of a sport.
Exactly.
Which I like baseball personally, but
yes. Yes.
Especially playing baseball. It's different playing baseball than watching it. Because if you're playing, you're always in it. Especially playing the field, you always got to be ready to play. You always got to be ready to do something.
Yep.
Even on the bench, I feel like I always got to be,
right. Even on the bench, you've got to be like watching what the pitcher's doing, watching what the batters are doing, watching what the infield's doing. Because like even on base, you've got to be
being on base is very fun, Kenny. Especially being able to steal bases and being able to
you have a bunch of things to do on base. Mm-hmm. One, you've got to be watching your coach to get the sign.
Right.
Two, you've got to be watching what the pitcher's doing to see what, if he's going to throw back or try and pick you off or whatever. Mm-hmm. You've also, if you're on second, you have a huge job of trying to, maybe, try and look and see what tells the pitcher's kind of doing.
Or what call.
To figure it out,
right.
Try and figure out calls. Because that's baseball. That's not cheating. That's baseball.
Right.
And then on third, you're like, okay, you're also getting signs from your coach, and you've got to be wondering, okay, should I go? Should I not? All that stuff. Right. So there's a lot of things to do. And yes, base running
Suicide
is fun.
Squeeze.
Exactly. So
hardest thing to do in baseball, I would say. I mean, that or hitting a home run. I mean, for like a batter, batter/base runner, because you got to know the perfect time to run to where the pitcher, you're not too far out, but that pitcher's going to throw to first instead of try to throw you out or, take it home.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't like any of the rules that they did. And
I think the shifting one, like I said, they could easily fix it, make it one shift only. Maybe make it so it has to be an outfielder that shift. Now, like an outfielder could shift infield, but you'd obviously lose that outfielder position.
Right.
Which would more incline people to try to pop-ups maybe, because if it's open field pop-up, I mean, you got to really hustle to get to something like that if you have one less person on the field. But
I like the one-player shift.
One-player shift, yeah.
Is that per at-bat? Or is that per inning?
I would honestly say per inning, because I think it'd be a little too much if you were able to shift. Like, you can shift them somewhere and then shift them back. One person per inning.
So, I like the whole shift one inning, and then, that player has to go back to the position they
usually
play and are listed as playing.
Right.
So you give them one opportunity to shift per inning, because then you have to figure out when you're going to shift.
When you're going to shift that person during the game.
When you're not.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, I got nothing
for now.
Else, honestly.
It's going to be weird next week because I'm going to have no high school basketball to talk about.
You're just going to have college, man.
But I'm going to have college to talk about because we're almost close to the national championship game already.
Very close.
This is ridiculous, by the way.
Crazy.
This tournament has gone by so fast.
It's the fastest March Madness we've ever had.
There's been a lot of March Madness. A lot of madness. So on that note, for Brady Master, my name's Kenny Kramer. Tune in next week. I don't know what the topic is yet, but we'll figure it out. We're going to roll with it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we'll for sure be back next week. So until then, so long, everybody.
Yep, have a good night, guys.
Hey, everyone. We hope you enjoyed the episode today. If you did, you should go check out the rest of our episodes on our website at ccflugnutspodcast.com.
You can also listen to us wherever you find your podcasts.
Follow us on our Facebook and Instagram pages by searching the Lugnuts Podcast Group.
Thanks for listening, and remember, Jesus loves you,
And so do we.